Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is one of those videos that I'm making that I'd hope not to have to make, but after the past week, I was pretty much frustrated. One, because some things did not go right with the Mustang build, but you know, should you be frustrated? No. Should you do your homework? And the answer is yes. I took some chances on some pieces on the Mustang, and sometimes you have to do your due diligence to make sure that what you want is what you get. Now, we have enough problems with people selling stuff, misrepresenting what it is that you buy, quality-wise, performance-wise. Yes, that happens. But sometimes in the process of trying to save $1, you can actually spend twice as much, because if you buy something wrong the first time and you can't return it, then you end up buying something twice, which if you did it right first time, you wouldn't have to do. So this is one of those times. So we're going to open this package and you'll immediately see what it is, and you'll know, and I'll explain why I had to do what I had to do. So my last Foxbody build, I can say that about 80% of the parts that I purchased was from this company. So I had to kind of go back to my tried and true sources and do my research. So hopefully this is going to solve a problem that I created by buying a cheaper part on eBay that was not what it was represented to be. But I'm going to pull this out of here and we're going to see what's what. It already looks better than the one that I purchased. Hopefully that is a definite thing. But I can tell you this, some of these pieces that are coming from places that I'm not certain about, I don't know. This looks more heavy duty. This shaft looks way bigger than the one that I've already purchased. I hope we don't have an issue as far as that steering shaft fitting onto. All right, this is the new piece. And before I even break this out of the plastic, it does have a couple of sets of looks like it has some offset bushings. I'm going to get a tape measure and we're going to measure to make sure that this is 15.5 inches center to center, because if it's not, it's going right back into the box and I will start over again. Already I can potentially see some issues with this one. Okay guys, upon further review, paranoia had set in, because I guess I was just so used to stuff not fitting that even when I saw the real deal in front of me, it looked a little different. But I can say this piece that I did purchase from Jegs seems to, at this point, be exactly what I needed. Initially, when I opened the box, I thought, wait a minute, this shaft is way thicker than this coupling that goes to the, when you put a manual rack in a Foxbody, you have to have a different, you can't use the stock rag joint and steering shaft. So then, of course, we purchased this robust piece that has, you know, universal joints in it. It's a nice piece. It helps you to get headers, whatever else installed into your Foxbody. When I looked at it, when I first opened it, I'm like, wait a minute, that shaft is way bigger than the one on that other. I don't know what it is about this piece compared to the eBay special, but we're going to compare it before this video is over. But I looked at the shaft like, wait a minute, that's way bigger than the shaft on this. Well, actually, it's not. It slides right on and it fits right where it's supposed to. It is the correct length. So far, so good. So I went out, pulled the bump steer kit off of the rack that's still up under the car with the offset bushing on one side. And I looked at this, and this looked bigger and more robust than on the other shaft as well. And I was paranoid because, in fact, if you will look at this as I am threading it up on here, it is indeed the correct thread, and the bump steer kit is fitting on perfectly. Yes, this piece that I bought from Jags. Now, the moment of truth, because all of that is null and void if when I measure and this is what's important to you guys, the center to center distance between these two eyelets needs to be 15.5 inches direct. Of course, when I went out to the garage, I did forget my tape measure, so I will be right back. And the tape measure in the moment of truth, drum roll, put it in the center, and it is indeed exactly. Can you see it, guys? I have that directly in the center, and it is 15.5. Make sure it's in the center. 15.5 inches, center to center. That's what it's supposed to be. Now, the bushings that they include are here. Probably not going to use those. At this point, I think I am safe and completely, before I completely unpack this, I'm going to cut the plastic off of this and slide the correct centered bushings that I already have purchased. Right now, including the bushings that Jags has sent us with this, and the bushings that we have under the car. I have 3 sets of steering rack bushings. Anybody need some offset bushings? Hit me up and maybe we'll strike a deal. But at this point, I don't think we'll have to worry about any of that. I'm going to go get one of the bushings. Actually, I have one that's already loose out of the car. And I'm going to see that it slides in where it's supposed to. Here is one of the centered, non-offset bushings that's supposed to fit in these racks. And I'm going to slide it in here. And guess what? Fits right in like it's supposed to. So, in just a few moments, we're going to go out to the garage. I'm going to, in fact, install this steering rack today. And it's going to be the last time that I have to install it. And I will tell you this. The eBay rack, so you'll understand why it was so attractive and alluring, was $137. Now, if you go to Flaming River, Unisteer, those racks are going to set you back right around $300. Right around $300. This one was slightly less than that. Not sure who makes this or where Jags, which is where I ordered this from, gets this rack, but I can tell you, and I'm going to show you when I get the other rack back out from under the car, that this one, I mean, you can just feel how sturdy and weighty that it is and how well it is constructed. Don't do what I did. Remember what I said in the last video? Some of these things are going to be, don't do as I do, but do as I say. Take the time. Buy you a Flaming River, Unisteer, or from a reputable parts company when it's dealing with something like this. Because Steering is one of those things that you really should not play with, because that can make or break the whole feel of the car. And I knew that, but I took a chance. So my loss is your gain. Yes, we're going to install this. Before we do that, I'm going to bring the other rack in here. We're going to look at the differences, and then we're going to call it a day. Okay? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this in front of us here is the original eBay rack that I purchased. It's supposed to have 15.5 inch center to center. If you put the tape measure on it, it's not a full 1/4 inch off. If you center this tape measure, it is slightly, the distance apart is slightly, center to center is, let me make sure it's centered here. Center to center is more, center to center, it looks like it's about a 1/4 inch off. It's about not quite a full 1/4 inch off. It's about 15, center to center is about 15.25, which tells you why I had to have the offset bushing in there for it to fit. If you see where the 15.5 inch mark is, that would slide the mounting point further out, or it would have to be in order for that to fit. That's why we had the offset bushings. And here is my theory why. I don't know where these racks are put together at. I'm not even going to speak to anything else about it. But look at this here. Hope you guys can see this in the film. See this gap here? See this line? Hope you can see that in the film. There is a indentation here, and it looks like to me when this one was put together, and this is just a theory, I could be wrong, this is not scientific, I'm just telling you my theory as to why. I believe that this is supposed to be pushed in that far, which would be about the distance as far as that thing is off. Would it have killed me to leave the offset bushing in? No, but at that point, I'm not taking any chances. I decided to go with this rack, and as I put the tape measure on it, I've already put the new bushings in. You're going to see categorically, make sure it's centered, make sure that it's flat. Exactly. I don't know if you can pick that up in the film. Make sure I'm not at an angle so it looks perfect the way it should. 15.5 inches. Center to center. I am fully expecting when I go out to the garage, slide these stock steering rack bushings in, that this is going to slide perfectly in with no issues at all. Let's go see. So the first thing that we did was remove that old offset bushing out of there, put the straight ones in that came with the UPR products K-member, and everything slid right into place just as you would expect. Just a little elbow grease to get it started, and just kind of squeeze it tight, get it as far up as you can, and we just had to manipulate just a little bit, but everything slid right into place. I am immensely happy because I was so distraught, because I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I want things to be done correctly and as perfectly symmetrical as possible. So just tap it a little bit with this rubber mallet to get it seated into place. Then we will slide the bolts with the washers on through the back, put the nuts on the front, and we'll tighten it up just enough to get it seated in and the bushings pull completely in where they should be. I did end up having to loosen these back up when I put the steering shaft on up top. Next, we prepared the rod ends along with the bump steer kit to go back into place. While we were in the office, I went ahead and centered the steering rack so that turn for turn, it's 1 3/4 turn to center. So it's a total of 3.5 turns from side to side. So we divided that, and of course it's 1 3/4 turns to center it. So by doing that, when we put the bump steer kit in, it was just a matter of adjusting the rod ends so that the wheels were pretty much straight. Is it going to be perfect? Absolutely not, but we'll be able to get it straight pretty easily once we do a front end alignment on everything. Once everything is totally installed, we still have to go back and center the K-member up, but as for this part of the project, we are virtually done. Let me get up top and show you the Unisteer steering shaft and how that fit up. Just in case you were wondering how many spacers go on each one of these bump steers, well, it will vary by car. We will not be able to completely adjust those either until we get the car down with the engine in. Here is what the steering rack looked like installed. It fits up nicely, but I did have to loosen the steering rack and slide it out some because it's a very tight fit. But it looks good to me. While we were fitting all this up, a package came. Tune into the next one to find out what it is. I'll never tell. Remember to like and subscribe.